everyone! We are back once again with more Little Busters. I'll be reading a bit less today because I gotta go somewhere again. So, expect not as much reading today, but still a whole lot of reading. Like 10,000 words at least. So last time where we left off, the detective is an unexpected middle-aged man that's at their detriment. Okay? That's where we last left off, alright? Got it? Let me get all set up. Okay. And so, we continue. Without a hint of concern, she continued her analysis. A beautiful mystery and fascinating characters are the crux of a mystery novel. Suspicious people gather in an eerie mansion, an elderly head of the family, his young second wife, his kids who resent her, a middle-aged butler draped in black, a maid who closed off her heart. Beautiful twin girls who were confined to the mansion, a struggle for the inheritance among the family members, then the first tragedy, a hidden room stained red with blood, an ironclad alibi for everyone. One by one they're murdered. There's no way to escape as the mansion is isolated by a storm. They begin to suspect one another and everything becomes suspicious to them. As the impossible murders continue, I'm captivated by her engaging storytelling. This is the first time I've ever seen her speak with such enthusiasm. In order to solve the mystery, a private detective and his timid Watson-type assistant appear. To stop this tragedy from continuing, the detective gets to work right away. The story reaches its climax with the decisive confrontation of the ingenious detective and an evil genius, the shocking truth and unforeseen twist, and the tragic past of the perpetrator, a conclusion that leaves a bitter aftertaste. That's the epitome of mystery novels. What a passionate and eloquent monologue. Listen to her in silence. What's especially important is the relationship between the detective and his Watson. If the one playing the role of the Watson character is a writer, it's even better. He's following the detective with everywhere to immortalize his deeds and words. The detective often teases him and sometimes makes a fool out of him, but in time of need he's always be there. And when he looks into the watery eyes of his Watson, he'll say the following: "You really are no good without me. Do you understand it, Noe-san?" His deep affection concealed behind the words. Suddenly became silent and looked at me. And that was a joke. A joke, huh? From the way she'd been talking, it seemed like she was dead serious. I'm sorry, I talk too much. Not at all, Nishizono-san. You really love books, don't you? But when she was reading the poetry collection of hers, it was something more than just a love for books. Not simply the book itself, it was as if she was looking at something, or perhaps at someone beyond the poem. Beyond the words. That's how it seemed to me. Say, could you lend me a book? Wanted to share her in her joy of reading, so I asked her, if there's a mystery novel you can recommend, let me know. Yes, she nodded with a smile. Even though I said it like this a while ago, there are many interesting variants even within the mystery novel genre. There aren't just mystery novels that put emphasis on the twist. There are even books considered mystery, even though no kind of incidents happen in them. Each of them has their own charm. Hope you can find a book you'll enjoy as well. Yeah, leave it to you, so please choose something for me. Rin, look what I got. Give it to Lennon and the other cats. Showed the bag of nori to Rin. I can't! Lennon loves nori, but it's got too much salt. It's bad for him, so no. Really? That's too bad. And Nishizono-san went out of her way to give it to me. I'll take it back to the dorm and have it for dinner. Wait. A little won't hurt, I guess. I'm sure little Lennon will be happy too, she said and held out her right hand. Yeah, handed the plastic bag over to Rin, who accepted it as though receiving something valuable. It's nice. The speaker turned on, making a Alright, I'm gonna go back to the guide that I have. I keep forgetting to leave it on when the stream begins. I don't think this matters to the plot at all. So the 22nd. Okay. Chase after Kyosuke. Press can go on. Alright, he got injured again. I was walking down the corridor. I automatically headed to the courtyard to find her there. I wanted to see her. Wanted to see Nishizono-san joining our circle of friends, but when I invited her last time, she turned me down because she couldn't play sports. Still, she wouldn't even have it to do anything. That's why I intended to try inviting her one more time. Nishizono-san, I'd like to ask a favor of you. Can I? She tore her glance off the book she was reading. Before I hear what it is exactly, I can't answer you. I'll tell you now. Here goes nothing. If it doesn't work, so be it. I guess this is how Masato and Kengo normally think. I took a deep breath, and she said everything at once. Would you become a manager? Manager of what? Us. Are you making your debut as an idol band? Natsumi-san, Inohara-san, Miyazawa-san, and Naoi-san, four members. I see. I've heard that Natsumi-san is popular with the girls. Miyazawa-san has a fairly manly appearance as well. But what about the remaining two? I think it might be a little difficult. That might be where I get to show my skills as a manager. I understand. I'll gladly accept your offer. She didn't leave any room for me to interrupt. Wait a sec. The remaining two members are me and Masato? Oh, I'm sorry. Naoi-san, you have a baby face, so you might become popular amongst those with particular tastes. Let's group you together with Natsumi-san, who gives a valiant impression and make it a selling point. Natsumi x Naoi. This just might work. She nodded. With that, she looked satisfied. Felt like you're doing something bad to me in your imagination. Wait, that's not it. That's, I want you to become the manager of our baseball team. Baseball? Yeah. Not as a player, but as a manager. You won't have to do very much. You'd be a member too, but you'll only have to watch over us to make sure no one does anything dangerous. What do you think? I understand. I'm a girl too, so I won't go back on my word. Even if it was a misunderstanding, I still already said yes. I'll accept your offer. Really? Well, at least she did accept the offer, but I felt a little guilty because it seemed as if I had tricked her, even though it was all her misunderstanding. Naoi-san, if I really didn't want to, I'd refuse. But if it's all the same whether or not I do or not, anyway, I don't mind giving it a try. That's how I think. She added. Then you're really okay with it? You're persistent. I got it. Then I'll be counting on you. Leave it to me. And likewise, I hope things go well. Yay! What's up? It seems so lively here. Ah! Practice. Play with the Kyosuke. Say it's true. Alright. Go to the courtyard. Okay? To the courtyard! As you have omusubi today for lunch today? No. No? There were definitely several round rice balls wrapped with lava in front of my eyes. Traditional Japanese dish. These are onigiris, but you told me that there was an omusubi when I asked the other day, didn't you? Doi-san, look carefully. The one you saw the other day were triangle-shaped. These ones are circular. I see. The triangle-shaped one is omusubi and the circular one is onigiri. I see. It's always good to learn new things. Naoi-san, were you even listening to me? She asked coldly. Did I get it wrong? Yes. The triangle-shaped one is an onigiri, and the circular one is an omusubi. But you just called this an onigiri. I pointed at the round rice ball in her hand. It might have been the other way around. Let me see. Muttering the word onigiri, she made a circular shape with her hands. Then muttering the word omusubi, she made a triangle shape with her fingers. Triangle. Circle. Mention it, sweat the small details. Okay. For the next few minutes, all that was running through my head were onigiri, omusubi, triangle, and circle. Naoi-san, this is what I promised to lend you. She produced a book from her bag. I spent quite a bit of time considering what to recommend, but I thought this would be good to begin with. The title of the book was The Locked Room. I think you should find it to your liking. The author's name was a little odd. His name looked like a tongue twister because both the first and the family name had the same kanji. He might be one of Sasagawa-san's relatives. Thank you, I'll read it right away. By the way, isn't this place comfortable? The wind below it was blowing over us. Her hair swayed in the air. The wind carried the green scent of the grass. Yes, I looked up at the blue sky. We've had constant good weather recently. A summer of Japan, a summer of reading. It's still only the early summer, though. It will be the rainy season soon. I guess you won't be reading here when that happens. Naoi-san, what do you think the raincoat and plastic sheets were invented for? So you will be. Like this, our lunchtime came to an end. Forever. Recess time! Ah! Play with Masato! Oh crap, maybe I should have done drink. Nope. We good. Let's play, Ricky. Yeah, but before that, I want to tell you something. What are you being all formal about? Thought a lot during class about muscle. Who? You usually just dismiss muscle as simply muscle, right? Even if you try and look at it from a different angle, all it is muscle. That's right. Oop. Okay. Solid muscle. Yeah, maybe. So Masato, what I'm trying to say is that your muscle is kind of muscle, solid muscle. Haha, hold on, are you sure you're not just trying to flatter me? This is no flattery. I'm only trying to establish a muscle theory here. Alright, let me play with your muscles today too. I need to pay my respects, so to say. Alright, bring it on. Muscles, muscles. Yahoo, muscles, muscles. Muscles, muscles. I fooled around with Masato. That was cute. Ew, that was fun. Yep. Yep. Ricky. What? I'll give this to you. What could it be? A dumbbell. Sorry. Sorry, dumbbell. Alright, time for keep looking at him with those eyes. After practice finished, I headed to the corner of the field. Nishizono-san must have been waiting for me as she called out. Well done. He was pouring tea into a cup. Dribble, dribble. The sound was music to my ears. Thanks. Taking the paper cup from her hands, Masato turned to look at me. I get it now, Ricky. At first I doubted whether we really needed a manager at all. But her taking care of us like this makes me want to give it my best too. I'm kinda moved. Making a little smile, he made to drink down the tea. It's hot! It was steam rising from it. I hadn't noticed its temperature, and the skin in his hands must be really thick. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. My muscles saved me again. No, your massive muscles only serve to dull your senses. But Masato sure is a good guy. He'd never bluff like that rather than complain. Hot tea is the best cure for fatigue. She poured another cup of tea. Here, this is for you, Noe-san. Yeah, thank you. I blew on the tea to cool it down, but the liquid was still hot as it passed through my throat. Taking a long sip, I could feel a hot mess descending to my stomach. Yeah, this is great. Felt like the warmth was expanding to every corner of my body. I'll have some too, so I'm a little thirsty, she said coyly when I gave her the cup back. Then she filled the cup again. Eh? Without paying me any mind, she brought it to her lips. She was drinking from the side my mouth hadn't touched. What a pity. Wait, what am I thinking? Ha! Nishizono-san let out a satisfied breath. Nishizono-san. Yes? No, never mind. I shouldn't spoil her mood without reason. Mio-chin, I got thirsty too! Nishizono-san poured the tea into a cup again, and then it to Haruka-san. What is this? What you doing, bastard class hotness? She didn't spit it out though, so what was she saying sounded completely out of context. Was that supposed to be an imitation of an angry hoodlum just now? Well, that's pretty irrelevant either way. Nishizono-san, maybe you had better make cold tea available as well after all. So it seems. Oh yeah, I'd like to improve our connection just a little bit more. Nishizono-san, do you have your cell phone with you? Didn't have her number yet. That's... What's the matter? You could say I have it. She put her hand into her bag and rummaged inside. The many books in her bag were getting in the way. Sorry, I don't usually use it. Here it is. She took out a cell phone of a simple design. A silver body with no decoration. Didn't have any stickers, not even a strap. I have only my parents' cell phone number registered in it. This is a useless possession indeed. She opened the phone with an unpracticed hand and tried to turn it on. She didn't seem to get it working. You had to hold down the button for a while. Following my advice, Nishizono-san made a forced smile, pressed the button power button and it finally turned on. I've never used the email function in this. Then can I be your first email pal? Is it no good? Oops. Then please. But are you really supposed to make email pals in such a formal way? I don't see anything wrong with it. Actually, I think it's very like you. Very like me. What is me? Nishizono-san is Nishizono-san. Isn't that all there is to it? Is that how it is? True enough, you guys seem like you're living by instincts. Instincts. That might certainly be true for Masato, but I don't know. So, can you tell me your number and email address? She didn't move at all, holding the cell phone in her hand. I don't know my number. Your model is the same as mine, so I told her what she needed to do to display her number, but she didn't move. It has so many buttons, I can't figure out which one I should press. Push. The phone is my home. In my home is a dial type. Is it black as well? Let me try. It was quicker to check it myself. Registered her number and email address in my cell phone. I'm sending you a mail. I pressed the send button. A few seconds later, I heard the cold generic message sound coming from her phone. How do I read it, I wonder? She had locked up. Ha! How to check your emails, how to register numbers and addresses. There seemed to be a lot that I had to teach her. I thought about all the previous mishaps. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I smiled involuntarily. I kind of feel like I'm being made fun of, but I'll be counting on you. I entered my number and address in her phone. Alright, next is the other members. Eh? Talking about Kyosuke, Masato, Kengo, and of course the girls too. I have to register all the Little Buster members. That's true. I saw her smiling a little. Gotta get everyone. What, you were her first, young man? What did that roll for myself? Truly a pity. Muttering something incomprehensive, Kuragaya-san sent Nishizono-san an email. Then here it comes, receive it tightly. All smiles, Komori-san sent hers. What she said. After that, Haruka-san also pushed the button with a strange cheer. Kaboom! And as Nishizono-san's phone played its message tone, she shouted up, Has the singularity exploded? An emergency attack, get down! Hearing Ku's panicked voice, Rin launched her orders. I can't tell whether Rin has great composure or not. Wafu, that's horrible! Ku dutifully threw herself down on the ground. Sheesh, sure are being noisy. Well, here's my number and address. He handed Nishizono-san a scrap of paper. Anytime, always, it's okay to call me. Looking forward to it. Hey, why'd you throw it away? The note was dancing in the air. It was blown away by the wind. Sure it was. Desperately chased after it, the scrap of paper, as we watched it fly away into the distance. Hold it, you gotta give me a call! He came back a moment later. Why are you so enthusiastic about it? Well, Ricky, look here. He showed me his cell phone call history. Kyosuke, Ricky, Kyosuke, Ricky was a never-ending chain of our two names. As you can see right now, my cell phone is dedicated exclusively to you and Kyosuke. But that's not how it should be, is it? Then I'll give you a call. It's calling! Anything for Masato-kun? Numu, I'll cooperate too. Everyone gave him a call. Whoa, in a matter of seconds my call history has been reborn. Does it kind of look like the cell phone of someone extremely popular? Oh, I guess it does. Damn, I can't calm down. Ricky, the cell phone must smell of you after all. I can only calm down when my call history is filled with nothing but your name. That's what you said. What you're saying sounds horribly creepy. Apparently Nishizono-san was still desperately trying to call Masato. Just like before, she was looking at her cell phone with a blank expression. Oh, Nishizono-san, this is how you do it. I gave her a hand. Oh. Hello? Hello? Yeah. Good afternoon. She bowed her head while greeting. Oh, that's very kind of you. Masato bowed his head as well. He's right in front of you. Why do you even need a cell phone? That's it for Inohara-san. Wait up, what about the email? It's written on this memo. Wait, are you throwing it away again? It was blown away by the wind again. Masato went chasing after the scrap of paper again. Oh. Alright. Need drink. Kyosuke's turn. Kengo had gone off looking for a ball he'd struck himself, as expected of our home run king. Nishizono, can you send me a text? I'll add you to my phone's contact and reply. Sorry, Kyosuke, but she can only receive messages for now. Didn't teach her how to send them yet. I taught her about how to make a call, but she was still not confident about sending messages. I'm sorry. I see. That's unexpected. I always had an impression of you as someone who would thoroughly read every manual. I could imagine you drooling over a thick pamphlet like that. I did read it. I thought it would be trivial, but there are so many buttons and it's hard to tell what each one does. She had a look of defeat. Okay, here's my phone number and email address. Kyosuke handed over a memo to her. I told you it would be easier for Nishizono-san if you sent her a message instead. Look, she won't ever get the knack of it if she doesn't actually do it a few times. Maybe he's right. Kyosuke occasionally makes a valid point. Hey, are you throwing it away? The second I felt admired for him, Kyosuke took off chasing wildly after a scrap of paper. I'm sorry, it was blown away by the wind. Seto was still running after his. Even though this and that happened, she completed adding everyone into her contact list. Everyone else added her to their address books as well. Isn't it great? You managed to exchange numbers with everyone. Exchange? Does that mean I can no longer use my old number? What? Of course you can. But didn't I exchange my old number for everyone else's just now? Well, it's called exchange, even though all you're doing is telling each other your own phone numbers. See, isn't that what you just did? Told everyone her phone number and everyone else told her theirs in return. That's true, but shouldn't it be called mutually adding each other's numbers then? It'd be difficult to use such a long phrase. Japanese language is difficult. I wonder if it's okay, she said unexpectedly. What is? I can't help but feeling that this is not so bad. Isn't that fine? You should enjoy yourself too. I think I understand what she wanted to say. There's no need to worry about something like that. No need to compare your past and present self. Is that how it is? Either way, it might be a little too late. I didn't fully understand her meaning, and the conversation ended up before I got anything more out of her. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Ricky, time for dinner. Let's go! I don't think there's any more... Yeah, it's just the courtyard. Talk to her, I guess. Stop. After dinner, I opened the book Nishizono-san had lent me. Phew, I'm done with my muscle training. That was a good sweat. Oh, how unusual. You're reading a book, Ricky? I can't play with you then. What do I do? Oh yeah, I'll do muscle training. I just can't figure him out. He's like an old man who keeps forgetting he's just eaten a while ago. Didn't say anything though, but concentrated on the book. Masato rhythmically snorting resounded in the room. Ignore it, ignore it. There were signs that somebody had wiped up the blood. You might think it's a very natural thing to do, but the fact was enough to tell you who the murderer is. Muscle, muscle. And the name of the culprit is... My muscles are screaming, they're screaming out! The thin private eye in the book who was watching through his deductions suddenly turned into a muscular macho. It's you! And so the epic battle between the revealed criminal and the detective began. It's no good. Can't concentrate. Finished already? So fast. Well, I think this is enough. Oh. Did you already finish your muscle training? Yeah, I did. Okay. Visit Kyosuke. Call the other members. Hey, Blue Thunder. It's you. How you doing today? How's life treating ya? Sorry if I noticed your message late, but it's good to see you today. Yawn as she entered the room. What's up? You look sleepy. To tell the truth, she told me the incoming message sounds from mails she'd received from her teammates last night has kept her from getting sleep. I was glad everybody emailed me, so I thought I had to reply to them. In the end, she struggled with the cell phone in her bed and couldn't get enough sleep. First of all, I guess I should teach you how to switch to silent mode. You're okay, how are you? I'm doing good today. I'm going somewhere today. Graduation for, my sibling. So that's cool. From the fire department, I think. Please. Fair. She yawned once again. Flustered, she covered her mouth. As soon as the bell rang, go get something to drink, play with Masato. It doesn't say, go to the courtyard. I'm gonna save real quick. Let's play, Ricky. Yeah, gotta hand it to you. Your muscles sure are something, Masato. I'm afraid to even touch them now. Oh, in a good sense, of course. Come on, you're praising me too much. Stop that. Who knows? Maybe your muscles could start a muscle revolution. Nah, that's too much, even for me. No, I'm sure it's not completely impossible. Even if it were possible, that's not how I want to make a name for myself in the annals of history. I see. If you don't want to, then forget I said anything. It's a shame, though. Anyway, let's get started. Yahoo! Muscles, muscles! Muscles, muscles! I fooled around with Masato. Congrats on your sibling graduating. Yeah. Happy days, right? Ew, that was fun. Yep. Ricky. What? I'll give this to you. What could it be? Expander. Expander. I effed up. Rin hasn't reached a decision. Well, I don't want her to. I effed up, guys. I effed up. I'm a gosh darn fool. There we go. I did it, guys. Woo! Sorry, last night Masato was so noisy I couldn't finish the book you let me. I see. She accepted it easily. Looks like she also knows what kind of guy Masato is. Do you want to read it right here? There's a nice cool breeze here during the season, so this is a good place to enjoy reading. But I thought this was her fitness special place, so I'm not really sure. I can step into there. Looks like she's wondering why I won't answer. Am I just reading too much into it? Alright, I think I'll accept her kind offer. Yeah, thank you. But I can't read in the dark, so I'll go back to my room before then. True. Once you finish, I'm going to give you another one. She listed her recommendations. She said the mystery novel with the detective whose name sounded like a restroom was her particular favorite. Bathroom Detective. You'll get there soon enough. She had picked up a very thin book from her bag and returned it there quickly. What is that book about, I wonder? The book and the book. Hey, Ricky. While we were eating sandwiches, Kyosuke showed up. Nishizono too? Hello. She bowed her head. Looks like I'm intruding. Sorry. Hey, don't get us wrong. I'm not as stupid as you think. I was about to turn around, but I'm hungry. Didn't you have lunch yet? No, Ricky. That looks yummy. I was staring at the sandwich I was holding. This is just one piece. As soon as he finished saying that, he took a big bite out of the sandwich in my hand. Tastes nice. I got a little of his on my hand. Hey, use this. She handed me a piece of tissue. Thanks. No problem. I don't know why, but she won't look at me straight. I'm sorry, Nishizono-san. I turned my gaze on Kyosuke. Kyosuke, that sandwich was Nishizono-san, so you shouldn't have asked her. I didn't realize that. I'm sorry, Nishizono. He seemed to take it seriously and apologized sincerely. Your sandwich was great. Thank you. You're welcome, she smiled. And thank you, she added. That was a weird, confrontation. You two look really close, Naoi-san and Natsumi-san. Me and him? Well, I don't think that's wrong either. We're childhood friends. Natsumi-san x Naoi-san. No, I want a surprise, so Naoi-san x Natsumi-san would be good. I get it. It's not bad in reverse. She nodded. Naoi-san, please cherish your friendship with him forever. Okay. I answered without really understanding what she was talking about. Oh. When she heard my answer, she let out a sigh of satisfaction. When I was on the way back to the classroom, I thought I heard a cat crying. Are my ears tricking me? No, I'm hearing it for sure. Look for the cat, go back to the classroom. I don't think there's any more things for this day. Yeah, there's not. Loop it, we're looking for a cat. We found the cat. When I arrived in the classroom, I asked Masato if there had been any progress after the meeting this morning. Yes! I said that we should let her play outfield, but Yosuke said she is the ace of the little busters. Yeah, he hates changing plans he's once decided on. And then, he's promised he will allow her to call a timeout every time she wants to during the match. Every time she does it, we're gonna gather around her like we always do. And then make her stupid, make stupid talk until she calms down. I see. So what'd she think? She okayed it. Good that we finally solved the problem. Not sure if that method is going to work, though. Just do practice. Stop! No, you shouldn't stop it. Okay, if you insist. Put the pens back into the small bag. Fue! Oh, you're woken up. Was I sleeping? I think I should have played a trick on her. Would have been fun. We should have decided what to do, whether father fun or not. Haha, it's my nature to do that. Oh, yeah. She still looks sleepy. Yes, I should have done that. Alright, let's do this. She pinched Komori-san's cheeks. Munyo. Haha, it's soft. Ah, foo. And she pulled them up and down. Slowfie. I think she wanted to say stop it. Wake up or else you'll die. Hey, it's about time to stop it. Isn't it too early? Hi, you. Your cheeks had turned red. Haruka-san, you overdid it. Hey, let's go back to the dorm, shall we? Yeah. Yes. Come on, Komorin. I told you to wake up or else you'll die. Though Komori-san was still only half awake, we headed for the dorms. Hasn't it been hot recently? Ah! Hood. Yes! And Rin. Go with what I have. After Japanese class was over, Rin got to her feet and rushed over to me. Weren't we taught this already? Who's this? Who was? Sato asked. Didn't ask you, I was talking to Ricky. What are you talking about? Could you say that again? I was supposed to be reading it for the first time, but I have heard this story somewhere. Like I have this hazy feeling, or more like a shazy feeling. Oh, a new word? Would be awesome if it became popular. Wait, I remember now. Didn't I hear this story in school when I was a kid? Very much doubt that you did. The story was too difficult for kids to read. And I don't think it'd be in a textbook. Not to mention you actually reading something is... Rin-san, that's called deja vu. Nishizono-san, who happened to overhear us, joined the conversation. A fat boy? I'm a fat boy. I can't pretend I didn't hear this, miss. Do you wish to have a taste of my muscles? Does she want her to lick them? I prefer more feminine men. A macho is a bit... We're talking on different wavelengths. Their thinking processes differed on some fundamental level. How about we get back to the topic? This was about time I stopped them. So what was that about deja vu? Okay, Rin-san, Inohara-san, you don't mind? Deja vu means already seen before in French. In Japanese, it's also referred to as kishikan. You're somewhere for the first time, but you feel like you've already been there before. Here's some story for the first time, but feel like you've heard it before. Has it ever happened to you? It's exactly what Rin experienced just now. In fact, it experienced from your previous life. Eh? Through the cycle of reincarnation, Rin-san's soul remembers what she had experienced in her previous lives. What? You mean it's a memory of another me who lived before? Exactly. That's unexpected. Never thought of Nishizono-san as one to believe in reincarnation. And also, if my memory serves, deja vu is Nishizono-san? I called her quietly, slightly embarrassed. Amazing. It is already super duper confused. No, duper duper confused. I'm sorry, that was a joke. Eh? Never thought you'd accept it so seriously. What, you were lying? No, it wasn't a lie, but it's only a theory. There's little empirical evidence supporting it. There's a much simpler and easier to accept explanation. It's simply an illusion. Illusion? Just an illusion? That's right. Something gets mixed up with the memories of similar things you experienced before. Sometimes you'd read a book or watch a movie and end up thinking that you really experienced the events yourself. And sometimes you might mix up the order of events. You have just experienced something but get the impression that it already happened earlier. All that concerns human memory is rather vague and unreliable. Repeated actions aside, some things you don't normally give much notice to have a very fragmented memory of and are bound to recall vaguely. That's why, when you encounter something new, you may mix it up with your old memories and not take it for what it really is. Well, it's not that the person himself is making it up. Correct. The person who will firmly believe that is true. For that person, it has become the very truth. I see. I've heard about this before. No doubt, I'm sure I've heard about it before. I believe that's a deja vu again. Correct. Now that I think about it, that might be true can easily turn into it's true. There's no mistake in your head. A perfect deja vu. Then what should I do from now on? I can't trust my own memory? You're overthinking it. If something is truly important, you'll surely remember it. I see. I can continue being like before. You can't trust Rin's memory. This was joking conclusion we reached. Yeah. As the chime signaling the accept his help. I let my arms rest for a bit and went to see how everyone was doing. It's the day before the match, so naturally everyone was pretty nervous. Outfielders, go for it! Yosuke's voice resounded in the air. He swung the bat, sending the ball flying toward the point between the left and center field. It's within Kud and Haruka's son's territory. Okay, leave it to me. Facing the ball with her eyes, Haruka-san dashed off. Wah! Kud was running in an unsteady manner. They had their eyes fixated on the ball. They were too absorbed in it to pay any attention to their surroundings. The ball finally started falling somewhere between the two of them. They both ran toward the place where they expected it to fall, and... Watch out! An attempt to stop them failed. Wah! They knocked into each other and fell down, tangled up. Are you okay? It wasn't just me who ran up to them. Yeah. Kud managed to get up first. Are you hurt anywhere? She weaved around both her arms and legs. No. What she said there? She's using correct English? Could she have hit her head or something? Drink time again. I know. It's another scorcher today. Just letting you knows. I'm really glad to hear that. I shook off my unnecessary worries as I answered. That doesn't seem to be the case for Haruka-kun. Just as I let out a sigh of relief, Kurogaya-san announced her opinion in a grave tone. I saw that Haruka-san was crouched under the ground, holding her right leg. I'm fine. You have a match tomorrow, so something like this won't hold me down, proclaimed cheerfully. Pain shot across her face when she attempted to get up. I'm so sorry, it's all my fault. Kud apologized, looking as if she were about to burst into tears. I told you, I'm fine. It's okay, little Kud. My body's a lot tougher than you might think. This might heal if I cover it with some or something. Let me see. He gently pushed on her leg. This is a little embarrassing. Does it hurt here? She shook her head. What about here? He touched on a different place, then the face is distorted in pain. Kyosuke-san, is Haru-chan going to be okay? Doesn't seem to be broken. Looks like a light sprain. So it's not anything serious. Thank goodness. I sighed in relief. No, a sprain shouldn't be taken lightly. Unless it's handled properly, it might turn out even nastier than a broken bone. Need to treat it immediately. Please use this. Nishizono-san, who was always watching our practice by the edge of the sports grounds, was standing next to me. She had her white parasol in one hand and a first aid kit in the other. I feared something like this could happen, so I prepared it just in case. Thanks, I'll use it. I opened it. There were the bandages, a compress, gaze, and cold medicine inside. Can someone treat it? We get hurt every day back in the day, so I have an idea. But it'd be better if a girl did it. He showed his innocent side in the most strange situations. Let me do it. Nishizono-san? Yes, I have some basic knowledge from books. I did become the manager after all. Please allow me to do something. She had a serious look in her eyes. She was desperate about making herself useful. You're right, you can start then. I'll do with the follow-up. She squatted down next to Haruka-san. Will you please hold my parasol? Of course, it'd be difficult for her to hold the parasol and tend to the wound at the same time. Is that okay? It was Friday afternoon, the sun was still high up in the sky. I held the parasol up, protecting her from the sunlight. Started working on the shadow thrown by it. I was grasping at the handle of the parasol. The parasol she never parted with in the daylight. Right now, I was entrusted with it. Following Kyosuke's instructions, she skillfully placed the compress on Haruka-san's leg and wrapped it with bandages. Amazing, it doesn't hurt anymore. She got to her feet and moved her right leg around, trying to act strong in the moment before, but it must have been painful after all. Thanks, Miyo-chin. Thanks, Kyosuke-kun. Everyone looked relieved. Oh, thank goodness. I thought I'd have to take responsibility and marry her if she couldn't get up. What a bummer. Look, I can even run now. I'm so glad. Nishizono-san stopped her as she was about to start running around. You did take care of your body and rest for today. I think you'll be fine at the game tomorrow, but you should have the doctor look at it on Monday. Yeah, got it. Alright, let's resume the practice. You do image training in the meanwhile, Saikusa. Repeat that we're going to win 100 times in your head. first part is over. Call it a day. Okay, that's all. Not so fast. Can go roared out. That one was waiting to be eaten by me. Then what are we gonna do? Like this. Slash swish. Took a kitchen knife, threw the pancake into the air, and magnificently cut it into 8 equal pieces in the air. Friendship. Must be nice to each other. There are so many things I want to comment on. Bump. It's my victory. The end of the food war between the two guys also marked the end of the party. Where do I go today? How about the courtyard? Decided to go to the courtyard. Again! I left the room. As soon as I arrived, I spotted Nishizono-san and said, "Thank you for this." I couldn't help blending out a yawn even as I handed over the book to her. "You were told off for dozing off in class." I couldn't hardly put down the book last night. Before I knew it, it was already morning. And sure enough, I'm pretty sleepy now. An absurd thing I've done in spite of how I wore myself out last Saturday. The book was, however, absorbing enough to make me forego sleep. I know your feeling, but you should make sure you get a sufficient sleep. Do you think you can stay awake during the afternoon classes? Yeah, I think so. Maybe. Even as I muttered the reply, I had to suppress another yawn. The story was rather eccentric, by the way. Actually, I was surprised that the detective finally cracked the case based only on some minute conversation in a bar. Never read that story of mystery novel before. That sort. This is a mystery genre called the armchair detective. Cheerleading? I couldn't repeat the term she had mentioned. It's not cheerleading, it's armchair detective. An armchair is a chair with armrests. Ah, that must be the type of chair which you can often find in front of a fireplace in a Western-style house. But what does that have to do with the mysteries? The detective in those novels reaches the truth through purely logical conjecture, based only on what he hears from the people involved, never actually visiting the crime scene. But it simply, he cracks the cases while relaxing in his armchair. I guarantee that if you like things like that, you'll be impressed by the irrefutable logic of how he forms a conclusion. If you like, I can lend you another. What might be the matter? She looked askance at me. What? And as I haven't responded to her offer. No, it's nothing. Can you lend me another one later? Sure, I'd be happy to. Must have been smiling at her, because she herself had appeared so pleased. Whenever she talks about books, there's a certain charm about Nishizono-san's face. For that reason, I couldn't help softening my expression as well. Oh hey, if it isn't Ricky. Masato came walking to us as I was biting into a sandwich. Nishizono too? She inclined her head slightly. Didn't know you guys were doing lunch at a place like this. It looks yummy. I was gazing at the sandwich I was holding in my hand. No, you can't have it. Just one bite, don't be so stingy. No, this is the last one. Gonna abandon a friend into the maw of hunger? I'm somehow just barely keeping myself standing with my muscles for the time being. Considering that amount of muscle you've got, I think you could survive for another month. Oh, nice guess, bro. That's damn right. Muscles as well trained as mine, you can keep alive for a month without food. See ya. He walked away contentedly. I'm gonna die! What, you're back? I was about to die from hunger due to this inflated pride of mine. Ricky, you must be punished. Give me that sandwich. No, it's a Ah! Having caught me off guard, he stole a bite of my sandwich. Yum! But hunger grows while eating. I'm only feeling more starved than before. Two of us were standing face to face now, vying for dominance over the sandwich. Two men staring each other in the eye, communicating without words. Someone was saying something nearby. Nishizono-san was fixedly gazing at us. It's not beautiful. In Nohara-san ex Naoi-san. Using force is not good. Even if that's what we've always done, you shouldn't. Masato handed me back the half-bitten sandwich, apparently overwhelmed by her attitude. Okay? Yes. See ya. Walked away with his eyes fixed upon her. I'm impressed by the way you handled him. I didn't do anything special. Gosh, he isn't even aware of it. But even I felt the burning heat from her. That's nice. Ricky, got a moment? Kyosuke caught me as I was leaving the classroom. Truth be told, I've got something too. He broke off in mid-sentence and approached me. Just hold still. Kyosuke's face was so close I could feel his breath on me. He got a piece of lint there. His arm wrapped around my collar. Oh, thanks. And he brushed off the thread with his hand. Yo, Nishizono. Without moving, he spoke right next to my ear. Felt his breath on my cheek. Turning my head, I found Nishizono-san staring at us. What's up, Nishizono-san? Am I interrupting? I wouldn't say you interrupted, but what should I do? So I was interrupting. Nishizono, I guess it might be better if you join up.
What?
Oh, hey. She suddenly took off running before he could finish his words. Eh? Ricky, after her. He loudly barked the order at me, who had been stunned by his abrupt flight. Okay. I sprung in pursuit of her as directed. She was running much faster than I would have expected. For her frail appearance, she was really fast on her feet. Nishizono-san, wait! We were rushing through the hall and racing down the stairs. Wait! However, if I could make her stop just by shouting for her to wait, she wouldn't be getting away like this in the first place. Though there was little distance between us, I could hardly close in any further. Nishizono-san, you mustn't run in the hallway. Spontaneous warning came out of my mouth despite the fact that I myself was running too. In the next moment, without any indication she was going to, she suddenly stopped. What? Fast-moving car needs some room to stop, and a fast-moving human is no different. My legs kept running. I tried to brake, but it was too late. Following the law of inertia, I began falling forward. Just then, she turned to face me. My eyes momentarily met hers. And then I crashed into her. She and I fell down on the floor as though I'd pushed her down. Sorry. I suffered no injuries that cushioned my fall. Shono-san? She, on the other hand, was showing no signs of awareness. Shono-san? Did not answer, lying on the porch with her eyes. I want to get off of this. What the hell things are you doing right in the middle of the hallway, young man? Heard a blessed voice from overhead. Kurogaya-san, let me explain. She suddenly started fleeing from me and Kyosuke, and I chased after and tried to catch her in order to ask why. She suddenly stopped dead on the way. Oh, after that, I crashed into her, and it looks like she passed out. I see. You understand now? Sure, I perfectly understood that you are a pervert. That's not what I was saying. Just kidding. Her jokes never fail to freak me out. Might I suggest you get off her at first of all? I haven't moved from where I was sprawled over Nishizono-san. Underneath was her body. It was warm. Your right hand looking somewhere very sensitive. was on the ground. Right hand was, oh no, the uniform, which meant she's a girl. Hold on a sec, this was bad. Having fun, I didn't mean to. Okay, I want to get off of this now. Oh, gosh darn it, that was a thing. Infirmary. Oh, that's what it is. Cool. Alright. Cool. Let's get off of this now. Alright. Yes, why are we on this so long? Oh my gosh. Yep, it's heavy. Oh my gosh. Could you get off me? So sorry. Got up in a fluster. Oh my gosh. Stop putting scenes like that in these games, please. Though she went to see the infirmary just in case. It turned out she was okay. I'm relieved that you're fine. Nishizono-san, who was walking abreast of me, looked in somewhat of a foul mood. Nishizono-san? Mio Nishizono-san. Looks like she completely hates your guts now. Mio-kun, best for your own good to ignore. That's like him? No, that was an accident. I'm really sorry. You don't have to apologize over and over again. Well, I'm partially responsible as well, since I was the one who started to run. Are you sure you are not mad at me? No, what would make you think that? Never mind. Why did you run away from us in the first place? Honestly, that kind of shocked me a little. I wasn't running away. I was just a little surprised. How come? You and him were about to eat kimchi? No, I mean play Genghis Khan? I knew it. She seemed to have come to grasp with something. I had no idea what was going through her mind, though. One of my dreams has thus become reality. It's an indescribable feeling I'm having right now. I'll be cheering you two on. It's a great match. Nishizono-san? Well, I don't know what you're talking about after all. Kurogaya-san was on the other hand nodding with approval. Do you figure out what she meant? Young man, it is a simple task to use your imagination. So long as you have knowledge and intuition. The relationship between Mio-kun and I can be viewed as the Rubens goblet. Interesting. So you're on that side, Kurogaya-san. I mostly value practice, but you seem to be inclined toward theory. If I had to pick, that's true. I think we'll get along just fine. As one devoted to practice, I like to capitalize on that remark. I'd have to politely decline. They seem to be on the same wavelength. I've been left out of the loop this entire time. Ho, 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 ho. Let me take you to the dorm. Even though she seemed to be fine, I had to take responsibility for making her pass out. No cause for concern. The dorm is right over there after all. True, but I still can't forgive myself if I don't do something for you. She gave a soft laugh. Speaking of which, do you remember the day you hit me with a baseball? Yeah, I do. That was how I came to speak with her. Back when I hit her with a baseball, and today myself. I'm sorry, I really am. I'm sorry too. Didn't intend to elicit another apology. I just happened to recall it. It hadn't been even 2 weeks since then. Right. The team was formed, the members of we were gathered, Nishizono-san joined the team as the manager. We practiced a lot, we even played a game just 2 days ago. It seemed like a long time had passed, though all those things happened over just the last 2 weeks. The match is over, but are we going to continue playing baseball? Well, I don't know what Kyosuke's plans are, but it looked like he wanted to talk to us about something before the chase. Did he? I was certain I was interrupting the two of you. Did I get the wrong idea? What should I say? In the first place, I still don't understand what she thought was happening. Alright. She appeared a little bit dejected. But thank you for letting me see something wonderful. It was a sight for sore eyes, and even now, what was she thanking me for? What in the world was Kyosuke thinking anyways? We had finished the game the other day. Since I had practically forced Nishizono-san to help us, I wondered if it would continue to hang out with us. If she would do the hanging out. Guess we should ask Kyosuke tomorrow what he wanted. Will you join me? Yes. She smiled quietly. She accepted my words. That was what the smile seemed to say. See you tomorrow, and good night. Yeah, night. I saw her off, and then casually looked around. The sunset was lovely. A familiar scenery dyed in a familiar color. Today had been another nice day, and so would tomorrow. The sky assured me of that. There isn't anything that will stay the same forever. Even sunny days don't last forever. The assurance you have today can turn into an illusion tomorrow. I thought I knew that. It's gone. As soon as they heard the bell signal at the end of the last morning class, some classmates left the classroom and made a mad dash for the school store. Walked up to Nishizono-san's desk to speak with her. A female classmate bumped into Nishizono-san, who had stood up as the girl was passing by. It was not a big deal. Their shoulders just brushed each other. Ouch! The girl frowned, cocked her head to the side, and walked out of the room. She didn't even apologize to Nishizono-san. How rude. How rude! What was? She should have apologized to you. She did. You must not have noticed it. Really? Judging by what I saw, she did not. But if she says so, it must have been so. Thus, I was just mistaken. Are you going for lunch? Yeah, can we go to the courtyard later? Courtyard, yeah. Nishizono-san. Having finished lunch, she opened a book. She was so absorbed in reading that she couldn't hear me. I have no choice. I also started reading the book I had borrowed from her. I was tearing the crust off the sandwich she had given me into crumbs and feeding the birds around. It was fun watching the pigeons bobbing their heads as they pecked the ground. Yet another sunny day. Gazing up to the bright blue sky made me feel as if these warm days would never end. I wish good things would keep happening forever. One of the birds took wing. In the wake of it, the other ones took to air as well. Silence fell upon the entire courtyard after the momentary bustle. There was a smile on Nishizono-san's face as her eyes moved across the page. Maybe she had reached an interesting part of the story. Her smile was so gentle. She seemed to really enjoy her time with everyone else. She'd laugh with all of us when the guys did something stupid. She'd blush, lower her eyes, and sometimes even strike back when teased by Kuragaya-san. She and Haruka-san would have their childish spats. Even so, Nishizono-san seemed to be having fun. She got along well with Kud and Komari-san too. Therefore, I had realized something. I'd realized that there was a different kind of smile which she only let show when she was alone. It was a very fragile one, a smile that felt as though it was a mirror straight into the depths of her soul. Bird with wings of white, I wonder, is she not sad? Left alone, ne'er touched by the blue of yonder sky or the blue of hither sea. For some reason, I recalled that poem, the one which she once recited to me. I wondered if it still remained on as her hope. I noticed a lone pigeon walking toward me, which seemed not to have followed the ones that took off earlier. It was stark white and rather looking like one used for magic shows. The pure white wings would stand out in the wild. I had heard white pigeons were very scarce because they made such easy targets. I gave it a rest for the crumbs. Hey, do you like the little busters? She slowly lifted up her head from the book. No. Hate him. What? What are you asking that for all of a sudden? Well, just for some reason. Yes, I do. I spent most of my life without anyone I could truly consider a friend. I never had the chance to share such good times with so many friends before. I'm really glad to hear that. Her words relieved me, because it was I who had invited her to the team. Even though the game was behind us, our relationship would last. That's my sincere wish. Yes, I'm glad too. They are all lively, delightful, and bright. They have such a joyful air about them that I just can't resist joining in. I've never experienced anything like that. That's awesome. When I saw her look so happy, I also felt happy. And I'm with you, Naoi-san. Eh? What does that mean? I felt my heart start beating faster. Nobody else has tried to approach me before. We talked about books a lot. I've never done that before. Yeah. The back of my throat felt dry. I swallowed. It's almost as though she might next say, but I'm still... Her words broke off in mid-sentence as she looked at the white pigeon, and then she suddenly slammed her hands together. Clap. I heard a dry, loud sound. Eh? Naturally, the pigeon, taken by surprise, took up into the air. Left speechless by her clap, I watched the white bird fly off into the distant blue. Nishizono-san, what on earth was that about? It's nothing, she murmured nonchalantly. Yo, Ricky. Did I interrupt you guys? Kyosuke, who had seemingly appeared out of thin air, seemed to have picked up the awkward atmosphere between us and addressed the question to me in a modest manner. Not at all. Good, Nishizono, please don't run away today. I'm really sorry about yesterday. Never mind, it was fun watching Ricky chase you with all his might. By the way, what is it you wanted to tell us? That's what I'm here to speak about. Actually, there is this contest. Why don't we join it? Saying thus, he handed me a piece of paper. Win Glory, the 10th annual Tanka contest. It's Tanka, not Enka. What is this? For an instant, I imagined Nishizono-san in kimono singing an Enka song with a strong vibrato. Kimono, Japanese garment. Okay? The event may have a strange name, but the content itself looks proper. Recently, the little busters haven't done much but play baseball. So I've been thinking that this is a good chance to add something literally to our repertoire, and for that Nishizono is the only one that we can rely on. Went through the flyer. Apparently it was advertising an event by the Literature Club. You had to register for an entry by Saturday. Just 4 days left. Don't blame me. Forgot about it because I was using the flyer as a bookmark. It was clearly brimming with enthusiasm. To begin with, I hadn't even known such a thing was going to be taking place until his announcement. Nishizono-san was attentively examining the flyer. What do you think, Nishizono-san? Wouldn't it be sad if they only got one entry? What do you think, Naoi-san? Returned the question. Nevertheless, from the beginning, there was only one choice. I think it's gonna be fun. Actually, I'm curious as to what kind of poem you'll write. She had once said to me that wanting to know about the books she read was the same as wanting to know about herself. If it was the case, wanting to know about the poems a particular person made would also tell us about them. Alright, I will give it a shot. Naoi-san, could you please give me a hand? Sure, why not? Let's do our best, Nishizono-san. I'm counting on you, Nishizono. Represent the little busters. We'll make the world see we're not a bunch of idiots. I think it's too late for that. By the way, does the we include me as well? Of course. I knew it. You never get tired of it. No. Hadn't been able to finish reading the book at lunchtime due to Kyosuke's announcement. Decided to finish reading it that night. Hey, Ricky. I was used to Masato trying to cut me off. Wait, is your face were to get turned upside down? Wouldn't it look like the face of an angry guy? Damn it. It hurts! It hurts! This got torn apart into 1 dozen pieces. Ricky, help me. I just got split into 12. I can't tell which one is real. Ricky, my ass. What? Well, I'll give up and do some training. Hoo. Listening to his ragged breathing, I kept reading. He's strange. The story was a strange one. It's a bit different from the conventional mysteries where a crime was committed and a detective tried to piece it together. One of the characters in the story wrote a novel based on people around him. The odd number chapters consisted of actual events, and the even number ones, on the other hand, consisted of fiction he created. Murders took place in both parts. Somebody who was killed in one chapter was alive in the next. However, the more the story moved on, the more the line between the two blurred. Reality blended with fiction little by little. The further you read, the more perplexed you got. Which story was real? Which one was imaginary? Was he alive? Was she dead? Thinking rationally, there was nothing to be confused about, though. All the stuff written in the book is fiction. Okay. I, the reader of the book, was real, and everything written in it was unreal. That should be the truth. Nevertheless, it gave me an uneasy feeling that I couldn't put into words. I was spacing out with the book in my hand even after having finished it. What's going on? Such a serious look. Masato, done with his training, was standing beside me and peering into my face. No, nothing. It was a boring piece, right? And then you started regretting it that you didn't help me with a back muscle workout instead, right? Never. Say, Masato, what do you think reality is? Huh? What the hell's that question? He asked me back in surprise. Well, it's no big deal. Hoon! He pumped himself up, then he flexed his well-developed bicep. Look at it. I'd rather not. Reality is just like this muscle. What do you mean? This time I was the one surprised. The hidden muscles can only be seen when strained. Look at these massive muscles of mine. I think they grew a little stronger than before. No, strong isn't the right word. I should describe it as beautiful. So what you're trying to say is... The point is, anything is ignored unless people pay attention to it. If you don't understand me with this, there's no other way to convey it. Help me with another workout in return for my answer. I ended up spending the rest of the evening assisting him in his training. That was his way of showing his concern for me, I suppose. And it wasn't like I didn't understand his explanation at all. Experiencing unreality materialized as books made me wonder about reality. I wouldn't have even thought about it if I hadn't read the book. Thanks for lending me the book. The story was somewhat unusual. That's true. I recommended the twins, a pair of twins that appear in the story. But what did she mean by recommend? Because they are both pretty boys. Right. I got the strange feeling after I finished the book, by the way. The genre of the novel is called Curiosa. It can greatly affect the reader inwardly. Did you get some particular feelings from the book, too? Yes. The Rubin glove is like the Thanos glove. The Rubin glove. Sorry if I missed your words, by the way. Just try to get my attention if I miss a sentence, Blue Thunder. I'm always focusing on the story. But I do hear ya. How should I say? Well, it confused me quite a bit. It made me feel uncertain even about this world. Here's what Masato said. I gave her an account of what he had said the previous evening. I see. Inohara-san can be quite interesting. Intelligent Inohara-san, ignorant Naoe-san. That gap is not bad. Alright. Hello? Excuse me. She cleared her throat. Good. She was her usual self today. What about you? What do you think reality is? After a short consideration, she slowly opened her mouth. Reality is what we remember. What we remember? Noe-san, how do you think you recognize reality? I think by seeing, hearing, or touching. You recognize reality by obtaining information through what's collectively called the five senses. Yes, and you accumulate all the information in your brain. For example, what I just said goes into your brain through your ears, and your brain stocks it as a memory within itself. The whole process takes place in the blink of an eye. Ever since you were born, you've been repeating the same process countless billions of times, and those memories come together to form what you recognize as reality. What she had just said also turned into a memory in my brain. People can only acknowledge reality as a past event that they experienced just a second ago. Speaking of which, The word past reminded me of our conversation on deja vu. Now that I think about it, that might be true. Can immediately turn into, it's true, there's no mistake in your head. I whispered the words she had said earlier. If reality is but a series of short past moments played over and over in one's brain, is it necessary that the conversation can be done at all? Reality and unreality can't be distinguished. The border between them is extremely ambiguous, just like the horizon which appears between the sky and the sea. Hence, there's no point in trying to find it. No one knows where one ends and the other begins. Memory and past, fact and fiction, they're all shrouded in uncertainty and can easily be exchanged. Relationship between them is the same as the one between the daytime's transience and the night's dreams. But if you could stand right on the border, she was talking to herself, not to me anymore. Nishizono-san, next class will start shortly. We should go. She slowly opened her eyes to look at me. Sure. And then she nodded with a soft smile. Somehow, I got the impression that she was swaying. Alright, translate the next sentence, number 23. Our English teacher applied several simple rules to call on his students. He had called upon attendance numbers 11, 13, 17, and 19 so far. He was seemingly using prime numbers today. The party was drawn to a close by 3 rousing cheers. Bonsai. Bonsai! Bonsai! Bonsai. Good, that's it. Student number 23 sat back down. Thank goodness I'm not going to be called in this class. Next up would be number 29, which was Nishizono-san. I took a look at her and found her already ready for her turn. Well, next is... However, the number he called was 31. Nishizono-san was skipped as though she were forgotten. But the one who was most surprised was Kud. What? Wafu? What's wrong, Naomi? Stand up and translate. Yes! She got to her feet so hurriedly her chair toppled over. Wow, 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 wow! The entire class burst into laughter, except Nishizono-san and me. Ricky, I heard about something. You're gonna enter in some contest, aren't you? Count me in, too. What, you want to make a Tanka with us? Tanka? Right, the 31 syllable thing. Still interested? Oh. My head's starting to hurt. Take it easy. That must be too painful for your brain. You'd better forget about it and live a peaceful life. No, I'll do this. You have beads of sweat on your face. You're gonna die, Masato. I'll pull Kengo in too and prove that I'm smarter than him, not just stronger. I already got worse grades than him. Especially then, I must win this time. Naoi-san didn't supply you all the necessary information, so let me add some more. Okay, bring it on. I will overcome it. Tanka poetry is a form of waka, which consists of 5 units. The set of the first 2 is called the upper phrase, and the set of the other 3 is called the lower phrase. What's the difference between tanka and waka? They are generally the same, but technically there are 2 kinds of waka. One is tanka, the other is chauka actually. A few chauka are left in the present day. For that reason, you can say waka and tanka are almost synonymous. Oh! Is it over? Yes, I did it. I overcame it. Hey Ricky, I got what it takes to help you. You just heard the short explanation. You have nothing to be proud of. How did you know about the contest, anyway? I heard from Kyosuke, of course. When it comes to competition, I can't afford to ignore it. I'll call Kengo. He took his cell phone out of his pocket. Beep, 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 beep. I accept the challenge. Alright, let's make it a good fight. Wafu, Natsumi told me about the contest. I love traditional Japanese poetry. Please let me in. Hey, that sounds fun. Moo, want me to join as well? Yeah, let's make good ones together. I guess I can do that. In the end, the whole little Busters gang had gathered. We occupied a corner of the classroom. First of all, can you tell us what to do, Nishizono? Okay, but I'm not quite sure I can explain well. She cleared her throat. There are a lot of Tanka works out there, and the one thing you have to know about them is that they are all made of 31 syllables. Tanka already appeared in the Kochiki or the Nihon Shoki as form of Japanese poetry. It was perfected in Man-yoshu, which was edited in the late 18th century. Kochiki, history book. That's old. Wow. Oh, I did the other one. Oldest existing anthology. 7-12. That's insane. After that, Chinese-style poetry became mainstream for a while, but Tanka made a comeback in the 10th century. In the Heian period, a total of 8 poetry collections such as the Koken Wakashu, Gosen Wakashu, and Shu Wakashu were edited. It meant that Tanka was highly appreciated among the aristocracy back then. Corn the emperor. It was abolished. However, in the Kamakura period, the samurai took over the government and Tanka's popularity began to decline. Kachu was ruled by the Kamukara shogunate. Cool. But isn't it around the time that the Ogura Hyakunin Ishu was completed? 12th century poems. That's right, it was the early Kamakura period about 800 years ago when Fujiwara Sadai selected the verses for the anthology. However, after his son Tamai died, the Nanbokucho period began, as well as established norms dominating the whole of the Tanka community. Period. No 2 separate Japanese imperial courts. Okay. After that, Tanka was losing ground among the aristocracy for a long time, but in the meantime, the conventional style stayed alive without any novel ones being established. The Meiji Restoration changed that situation. Getting a lot today. 19th century. Right. Not only the aristocracy, but all kinds of people joined the Tanka community, seeking both freedom and individuality. For example, Yosano Teken, the romanticist, and Masoka Shiki, the realist. Poet. Okay. Or Kita Kara, that name belonged to the aesthetic school from the late Meiji period into the Taisho period. Hakushu. You might be expecting something else when it comes to aestheticism, but you are to think of the isms as neo-romanticism. Should get your hopes up. Sorry, but I don't get what you mean by something else. I see. Well, that's not important. Many other poets appeared in the age. Ishikawa Takuboku, creator of the proletarian Tanka, or Bokusui Wakayama, was inspired by nature. The name. Notified an affectionate spark in her tone of voice as she mentioned his name. I was again reminded of that Tanka piece, but explanation still continued. And then while Saito Mokichi started the realism movement in the Kote magazine called Araragi, those who inveighed against it started the group called Anti-Araragi. Conflict between those groups greatly influenced the latter Tanka community. Sato had passed out, the whites of his eyes were showing. Haruka-san was taking a nap. Didn't know Nishizono-san could become really verbose when it came to this kind of stuff. Yet there was something more important than we had to learn. Say, Nishizono-san, you learned enough Tanka history, so can you please teach us how to write Tanka next? Alright, you can discover new fun aspects by studying the history. That could be true, but Tanka is poetry, isn't it? I think what's more important is what you want to express or what you do choose to express. That should be something you can do naturally, even if you're unfamiliar with history. Right! What's most important is poems is one's heart. I was going to mention the Showa and post-war periods, but there were a lot more details I'd like to cover, but then noticed that certain members were nodding off. I'm sorry, it seems like my talk was too long. Alright, to begin with, why don't we start freely composing poems with the 57577? Really know a lot, Nishizono-san. Like to hear more if possible. Oh, okay. Maybe later. All of us pondered for a while in dead silence. Kun and Kamari-san were walking about their room, looking for some good inspiration for their works. Don't forget about the composition. He was moving around instructing each of her students. Oh yeah, I got an idea. Miyochin, point is to mix up 5s and 7s, right? Yes, it is. Then, well, lend me your notebook, Riki-kun. Alright. I pulled a notebook out of my bag, handed it over to her, and she promptly began cutting several pages off with her scissors. Hey, wait, I'm still using it. That's okay, no problem, no difference, no worry. What do you mean, no worry? Well, whatever. Seems like it's too late. Greatest works are born from the greatest of sacrifices. Ta-da! On the desk in front of her were many raid-shaped pieces of paper. What are you planning to do with those papers? Here, everybody get one. Handed us one piece each. I get it. Your idea is to write a sentence with 5 or 7 syllables on it, right? It's expected of an ego. It helps that you figured it out so quickly. So the idea is each of us would write 1, 5, or 7 syllables phrases and mix them up randomly. That must be what she's suggesting. The style allows us little busters to create collaborative works. Sounds fun, doesn't it? That'll help a lot because it's a pain in the neck doing everything by myself. Hey, Masato, you're supposed to be competing with Kenko, aren't you? The other members except one all agreed with their idea. And then they turned their eyes toward the holdout, Nishizono-san. Collaborating? That sounds rather interesting. In fact, I'm very anxious to see how it will turn out. Okay, Miyuchin, okay. Miyuchin okays it. Let's get started. Each of us wrote words on papers. As we sorted them into stacks of 5-syllabled and 7-syllabled ones, and shuffled both groups on desks. First one is from the 5s. He picked up one from the 5-syllable group. In the blazing wind. Oh, that's a rather good ring to it. Kurugaya-san drew the next one out. Standing there right beside me. Another decent one. Boring. My turn! Here you are with me. Oh, not bad combination so far. Hey, what's mine like? Burying those fierce red bloomers. Okay, I'm last. A great big giant. Let's put them together. In the blazing wind, standing there right beside me, here you are with me, wearing those fierce red bloomers, my great big giant. That's it. I don't want to see a great big giant in bloomers. That's all your fault. You picked out a weird one for the last. Wait a sec, it started getting weird from Kood's turn. Well, this style doesn't work all that well. You're right. What about this? We make up the phrases in turns one by one. Who decides the order? Well, that would be Nishizono-san. Rather not do something that could make people feel bad. Aoi-san, you do it, please. Okay. Give me a second. It's drink time again. Okay. Apparently she doesn't mind people feeling bad as long as I take the blame. Well, who should be first? First off, we'll go top to bottom. You know what? No, I bet that's what everyone does. We're going to go bottom to top. Umu. Next. Okay. Next. Me, huh? Next up is... Okay! Rin. Got it. That's all? Oh, but the other ones can't do it. I shall read it aloud now. Despite gives birth to, under the light of the moon, an anti-tank rocket, a silence of budding spring, the cat was victorious? Little Busters. That's it. I will now move on to reviewing the results. First of all, the number of syllables isn't correct. That should be avoided. 31-syllable rule should be followed unless there are pressing circumstances. Too gloomy, the very first bit. So makes me vividly imagine a beautiful moonlit night. What's that rocket for? Do you intend to blow something up? Well, can you please stop staring at me? If anything, the image I have of spring is a cheerful, lively season, but focusing on its quietness is an interesting strategy. At the end, the cat wins. From my comprehensive viewpoint, I figure it's in bad taste to evaluate it. Take the smart way out, huh? Well, it's way harder than I thought to come up with phrases of suitable length. This approach was a failure. Eventually, the meeting was over without achieving any results. Yay! Well, I'm going out to town. Anybody want to come along? I stood up since I didn't have any particular plans for the rest of the day. And Masato followed suit. What about you, Red? Give me one Mon Petit. She counted out coins from her wallet and gave them to him. Okay. Kyosuke looked at me. Let's go then. Yeah. Yeah. You are only checking out of the comic section. You look just like a little child. I take that as a compliment. So what did you buy? The latest volume of School Revolution Sukerebo. Sukerebo? Tsukureibo. I don't know. You know, though, that one, right? Just the title. The plot's just awesome. All the students in the school come from different countries and companies. I bet they are all spies. But only the protagonist is an ordinary guy, and he gets drawn into countless fights. He's caught in a gunfight at the moment. Of course he always has his gun on him, even in class. What on earth are the secrets concealed within the school which can affect even an entire country? The secrets are starting to emerge right now. I'm so excited. He launched into a heated explanation. But speaking so enthusiastically, I couldn't help but look at his smiling face. Sounds fun, right? I'll lend you the ones I already read when we get home. I'll be reading them, right? Sure. Okay. The atmosphere in the shopping district was the same as it had always been as we walked along the shops. Bookstore, pastry shop, tailor, general store. The same old shops and the same old stuff being sold. What's wrong? Nothing. Kyosuke hadn't changed either. What's your point? You mean how he still acts like a kid? Well, never mind. Just talking to myself. It almost felt like we had such a conversation before as well. Even the faces of the passerby might be the same ones every time. Ricky, don't think about useless stuff. Eh? All you must do is look forward. Just keep moving forward. Maybe he was in the habit of talking to himself too. Didn't dare to ask him the meaning behind his words. We walked along in silence for a while. The shopping district, colored by the rays of the setting sun, was crowded with students and families of parents and children. A throng of people whose faces I might forget even as I passed them by. It just felt hard to believe that each and every one of them really had a name, family, life, and life of their own. There was a young salaryman crossing over from the opposite side. From his impersonal suit and necktie, I couldn't get any particular sense of how he had lived his life until now. But the same would have held true for him. He wouldn't be able to figure out anything about my life from my appearance. I live, so do others. The crowd in the shopping district. Among them I found a familiar face, as if seeing a sliver of light shining in darkness, as if singling out one particular individual's voice in a noisy classroom at recess. It was a face I would be sure to recognize in a crowd. Huh, Nishizono-san? Although we were rather far from each other, I was sure that my eyes met hers. However, her figure was soon engulfed in the crowd, and all that was left was the same busy street I had seen 100 times. She must have noticed me. Something was wrong. What's that about Nishizono? I think I saw her over there. I pointed at where she should have been. Huh? Didn't notice. Must be shopping or something, I suppose. I wonder if she was at the bookstore we went to. Could be. After that, we headed back home. She looked very happy. I had the slight feeling of a white, feeble light coming from outside the window, as I was vaguely thinking about something else. I used to be alone. At the time, Kyosuke, Masato, and Kengo and Rin had helped me out. The Little Busters. That was the name that symbolized the 5 of us. Since the spring, many new members had joined on Kyosuke's whim. Komari-san, Kuragaya-san, Kud, Haruka-san, and Nishizono-san. My world was getting larger and larger. It was spreading wider and wider. It was during junior high school. You can't do anything by yourself, Naoi. A certain boy said it to me. He hated Kyosuke. There was often people who despised us because of our flamboyance. No, the fact hasn't changed even now. All you do is follow Natsume all the time. I didn't respond. In fact, I agreed with him. I was proud of being with them. I understand myself through my connection with others. I identify myself as an individual named Riki Naoi, but Nishizono-san seemed different. She longs to be truly alone. She strongly desires to remain immutable, just like a swan refusing to be colored. Finished eating already? I visited the courtyard at the same time that every other day. She was there under the tree, just as she always had, but she was neither eating her bento nor reading a book, but just standing next to the tree with her parasol closed. No, not yet. She shook her head. Where's your lunch? I didn't bring one today. Want me to go get some food? Pigeons were staring at us from a distance, wondering if we were going to feed them. At first they all had looked alike to me, but I could now tell out from one from another because I had found the small differences that set each apart. Wouldn't it be bad to name them, each of them the way Rin does her cats? Looks like they're waiting. In that case, would you please? Sure thing, our sandwich is fine. Asked Nishizono-san, who nodded. Stay here until I'm back, alright? I gave a somewhat lonely smile as confirmation. I hurried down to the school store and picked up sandwiches for 2. Due to my late start, there wasn't much left on the shelves. Why were fruit sandwiches always so unpopular? Weird. Nishizono-san was waiting for me, still leaning on the tree. She refused to sit down even while eating. I also ate my lunch on my feet since I felt uncomfortable if I was the only one sitting. Prefer your sandwiches to these. The bread lacked moisture and made the inside of my mouth feel dry. You do? Can you make some tomorrow? I expected that she would say something like, "It's not like I made the sandwiches for you, Noe-san." But she said nothing. Where did you go yesterday? What are you talking about? Weren't you in the shopping district? Let me stretch again. Fudge, man. No, I didn't go out. Oh, it must have been someone... I must have been mistaken then. But I thought she had smiled at me when our eyes had met. I felt a pang of regret that it wasn't her. Suddenly remembered that awkward feeling I'd gotten at the time. Ah! I just realized which had caused the feeling of incongruity. She didn't have a parasol. What? The girl who I mistook for you yesterday. She didn't have a parasol. So yeah, it was my mistake after all. Did she bear such a strong resemblance to me? Yeah. She was rather persistent, even though I thought that would be the end of it. Were there any differences between me and her? I mean, apart from the parasol. I couldn't tell exactly since it was a really quick glance, but her demeanor was a little different from yours. Different in what way? She gave me... I hesitated to finish the sentence. But I ended up letting the words out nevertheless. A kind of smile you'd never shown me. I see. After that, she said nothing more. We ate the rest of the lunch in silence. My blunt remark must have made her indignant, but she didn't appear to be angry. Although I was right next to her, her eyes had a faraway look to them. There was even a small trace of a smile on her face. The bell rang. Let's get back. She picked up her parasol and walked on ahead of me. After school in the classroom, now we were supposed to continue making the Tanka poems. Nishizono-san, are you going to do it? What are you asking me such a question for? Are you not up to the test, Noe-san? Are you not going to, Noe-san? I merely wanted to confirm your commitment. She had acted unusual at lunchtime, partially because of my thoughtless statement. Needless to say, I'm going to do it, because I don't want to break my word. Then why don't we go outside today? I think being indoors is a bit stifling for creativity. There weren't any other little Buster members left in the classroom. Were they already tired of this? You can make a poem by creating various kinds of words inside your own head. There is, without a doubt, otherworldly beauty that you can only find within the realm of imagination. It's exactly like the kind of reality you experience when reading a book. But I agree with you. A better backdrop can make you more imaginative. Yes, I think so too. Didn't think about it so deeply. But I was pleased to see her so motivated by my suggestion. Let's go then. Let's go! Around here was where I saw the girl who resembled Nishizono-san yesterday. I simply get it the wrong person? What's the matter? Never mind, it's nothing. Okay. It seemed like I had been unconsciously looking around. A cool breeze was blowing along the riverside. Occasionally, strong gusts tugged on her parasol. The water level in the river was lower than usual due to a recent lack of rain. I sat down on the levee. I guess this is the only place with a nature right near the school. It does feel very comfortable here. I'm fond of that courtyard with its greenery, but I must say this place doesn't rank far behind it. I'm sure it'd be lovely to read books here, but we have something else to do today. Yes, we do. I was covered by the shadow of the parasol she was holding up. Because of that shadow and the pre-dusk light, everything felt a bit hazy to me. But I wonder, can we really make a good Tanka poem here? Apart from the sound of flowing water, there were also the cars driving down on the nearby road and kids laughing while playing on the bank. It was far from peace and quiet, plus random buildings sticking out like a sore thumb somewhat diminished the value of the view. Noe-san, what do you think was the most used subject for works in the Hyakunin issue? Instead of answering my question, she asked me one. Let me guess. Considering the flow of the conversation we had so far, the beauty of nature, perhaps? Too bad, no cigar. She told me the answer with a faint smile. It's love. Love? You mean the sort of between a man and a woman? Well, occasionally between two men. But mostly so, I'd say. They say more than half of the works in the anthology are devoted to love. They turn to look at the river again. A rock divides the stream in two, and both with might and main go tumbling down the waterfall. But I well know the twain will soon unite again. This is a famous piece by Sutoke, and even if the river currently speeds up and lifts and splits into two, the two will eventually meet again. In other words, he wished he could once again meet his lover, who is very far apart from him, like how the flowing river reunites. That's what the poem is actually about. It's not known if he made a poem by a particular river, but if he did, I'm very curious about how he felt as he was watching the river. He was banished from the country by his own brother, the Go-Shirakuwa Emperor, because of the failure of the Hogan Rebellion. He died in a panel colony. In the end, he couldn't meet again the one who had longed to see. Saying so, she let out a deep sigh. Aoi-san, is there any particular girl you like right now? Me? I'd barely given that kind of thing any thought. I've been with Rin-san since you were both little. Have you not? Isn't she your girlfriend? Rin? Well, she's... Like she said, Rin and I had always been together. I had a lot of fun spending time with her. No, there was something more than just fun. But would I define it as love? I don't know. I answered honestly. I guess I'm too close to her to see my feelings clearly. I see. I wish I were her. How come? Yosuke-san, Inohara-san, Miyazawa-san, and Aoi-san. She's always been surrounded by friends who care for her. That must be where you and your friends belong. No, it's not as great as you're making it out to be. Your saying so made me bashful. I too used to have a person important to me when I was little. Used to? Yes, it was a long time ago. Time for sad music. Nevertheless, it's not like I want to refer to the Sutokuin poem, but I might be able to see her again someday. No, in fact, it's probably going to happen before too long. She let out a sigh. I see. That's great. Although I did not know anything about the relationship between them, I was certain it would be a great thing to see somebody whom you had longed to see. If you don't mind, let me meet her too. I was interested in that person. I'd have even been jealous of that person. I will. She, and even I, no longer hold the feeling we used to. Was still smiling as she spoke. I have grown up. I can't go back to my childhood, but I still want to see her. A gust of wind blew through between us. I wondered what it was that she was seeing right then. What I saw was the riverbank I was very familiar with. It was no more and no less than that. But what was she seeing through those eyes? Even though we were standing here at the same place, I felt certain she was seeing something more than I was. I glanced at her shaded profile. I could never understand even half of what she was talking about due to her habits of running off the tangents. I wanted to know what she was talking about, and I wonder what that feeling is called. The feeling was so vague and fragile that the mere effort of expressing it with words might have made it collapse. Noi-san, look at that. I was taken by surprise when she suddenly turned to face me. What is wrong? No, never mind. What did you find? It's already gone. A boy over there threw a paper airplane. There were several children playing by the riverside who looked to be grade schoolers. Apparently they had already forgotten about the airplane and were now starting to play tag. The plane was flying away so beautifully. If it could manage to ride out on this river wind, it might be able to go any distance. Yeah, I'd like to have seen that. Looked over my shoulder. The paper airplane which she had mentioned could no longer be seen. Perhaps it had fallen to the ground. I wish to believe that it had kept drifting ahead there, heading afar. There's no way that a paper plane can overcome natural laws and keep on flying. But still, it'd be wonderful if we could just get on the plane and be whisked away. Aoi-san, what would you like to do? Or where would you like to... something? Me? Focus my mind on the question. Hawaii, maybe? Hawaii, an island of endless summer. Palm trees, aloha, shirts, hula, an azure sky, and a turquoise ocean. They were the first thoughts to surface in my mind upon mention of the place. Puh! You don't have to laugh. Sorry, you somehow sounded so much like a child. Too funny, couldn't resist. Well aware I have a little imagination. I was tracing letters on the ground with my finger. Noi-san, please don't sulk like that. I was just joking a little because you're always teasing me. Okay. That's terrible. I will dislike you if you keep being mean to me like that. That'd be a big problem because I abruptly broke off in the middle. What did I was just trying to say? What could have been the words which were about to escape my lips? What about you, Nishizono-san? Where would you go? Struggling to put it out of my mind, I returned to the previous topic. Where would I go? I would say Hawaii too. A paradise of endless summer, a blue sea, and a scorching white sand. Wearing a swimsuit is a little bit embarrassing though. She stared into my eyes. Forget Hawaii already. All right. Joking aside, it would have to be the sea after all. Wish to get on a white paper plane and fly as far as it would go. A blue sky and a blue sea. Wish to travel in a world of endless blue forever. I'd like to see that. Though she smiled, it only made me somehow anxious. But there's no such place here on Earth. It could be due to the uneasy feeling. I unconsciously voiced a strong denial of her wish. You'll definitely reach land beyond the sea. The Earth is round, so wherever you go, you'll eventually end up where you started. You are exactly correct. Therefore, that is just a silly little dream. Then she showed me her usual smile. Naoi-san, why don't we go back? It's almost sunset. We haven't made any poems yet. Are you okay with that? In the first place, the purpose of this little trip was to create tankas. It turned out, however, that we hadn't gotten anything done. Yes, I'm okay. Chew! Chew? I mean, I'm okay. Chew! Another sneeze, louder than the previous one. He put her hands over her mouth and as her face flushed beet red. Pardon me. I think I spent a little too long sitting in the cold. She embraced herself as she said it. It'll be bad if you catch a cold. Better go home now. On the following day, Nishizono-san did not show up in the classroom even by the beginning of the first class. What happened to her? Had she really caught a cold, given how she had seemed to be feeling out of sorts when we partied yesterday? Still, no one seemed to pay the slightest mind to her absence. Made up my mind to visit her after school. If Masato or Haruka took the day off of school, most people in the class would be like, "It's so peaceful today," or "No, must be an omen of some kind of catastrophe." But there was no change in the usual chatter when the ever-quiet Nishizono-san went missing. There was supposed to be no change. However, there were two feelings stirring up uneasily in my chest. It was somewhat embarrassing to admit, but one was a loneliness stemming from her not being here. I could not resist the urge to peek at her empty desk during class, despite the fact that nobody was sitting there. My eyes kept straying to the desk. Why? I hesitated to put the answer into words, and the other was a more looming disquiet. It wasn't just today. Something had been bugging me for the past several days. Most of the classmates who hadn't been involved with Nishizono-san earlier, now they did not pay any attention to her at all, as if she had been an actual shadow. Some might say it had always been like that, but I didn't think that was right. Admittedly, she did not have a lot of friends. She usually read books alone even during recess. In addition to that, she was considered something of a weirdo due to the fact that she carried her parasol everywhere and anywhere and any time. That sort of strangeness was why I had taken an interest in her. No matter whether it was in a good or bad way, most of the class thought of her as peculiar. However, that common awareness among them appeared to be a little bit different from the usual now. Today she was not in the classroom. The whole class except Kud and a few others was not the least concerned with it. Everyone was just going about their day as normal, too busy to even realize that they were lacking a certain classmate. That lack could be a trigger that would give rise to something. I couldn't rid myself of this uneasy feeling. We little busters did know aspects of her which the other people did not. We had seen the faces she had only showed us to us. But was that really it? Third class was over. Morning. At the very moment a student entered the classroom. He usually came in late. Heard it was because he used to loiter away the mornings somewhere. After the greeting, he went on. So, Nishizono really isn't here. His remark about Nishizono's absence stood in such a stark contrast to the indifference of the rest of the class. It prompted me to ask, what about her? Well, I just saw her a moment back, and I thought that was pretty unusual. You saw her outside? Yeah, hard to believe she would cut class, huh? He then laughed as though he found it hilarious. Are you certain it was her? I can't be entirely sure. I didn't get a good look at her face, as a matter of fact. The first impression was that it was her for sure, but I could be wrong. No, it wasn't her. He said louder with conviction. How can you be so sure? She was it with her parasol. No, Shadow has it with her all the time, doesn't she? Oh, hard to imagine her cutting class in the first place. Would have caught a cold or something. Even if she was feeling better, it was not likely that she'd go out to the town in broad daylight. Just like he had said, it would be best to conclude that he must have been mistaken. Yet the apprehension which had been haunting me was growing larger and larger. The other day, I had also seen a girl that very strongly resembled Nishizono-san. That girl had not had a parasol either. Now there was somebody else here who had to run across that girl. Was she really not Nishizono-san? Without me being able to dispel my uneasiness, the day's lessons drew to an end. I explained to the dorm mother and asked her to take me to Nishizono-san's room. Don't you think it's impolite to come by a girl's room when she's in her pajamas? So decided to talk outside. Why are you in your uniform? Didn't think that she had needed to bother changing into that. Necessary formality for a student. Was that the way it was? Are you feeling better now? Yes, I wasn't able to get up in the morning, but I'm okay now. Thank you for your concern. Just as she said, her complexion seemed perfectly healthy under the sunset's glow. Then you can come to school tomorrow? I don't expect there will be any problems. Glad to hear that. Well, let me just ask you something. I had to confirm whether or not she had actually gone into town. What is it? Have you been sleeping all day? I'm very curious about what the point of your question is. I mean, you wanted to watch my sleeping figure? That's abominable. Or do you mean you were intending to do something to me while I was weakened by a cold? You're a demon. I feel like I'm starting to relapse. Those reproachful words, she really seemed to shiver. No, listen. It's not what I meant. It was a joke. Oh, yeah? Well, in that case, though our typical banter had put me at ease, she continued by asking a question. Somebody saw me, didn't they? I cannot allow myself to deny it, because that was one of the reasons for this visit. I felt I would have actually been more relieved if she had confessed that she had snuck out to visit the town. I'd been in bed all along. It wasn't until evening that I felt well enough to leave bed. Yeah. They must have gotten the wrong person. Right, that must be the case. It is, so don't pay it any mind. Then she trembled yet again. Are you cold? If so, you'd better get back to your room. It was still warm at dusk in the early summer. It was highly unlikely that people normally felt chilly at this temperature. Could I really attribute her shudder to a cold? Or, I wondered if I should really let her return to her room. Nishi. Noe-san, I have a favor to ask of you. Cutting off my fumbling words, she addressed me with a smile. What is it? I'll do anything I possibly can. I'd like you to go out with me next Sunday. Eh? That sudden invitation caught me off guard. Are you free? I don't have anything planned, but are you sure you want me to go with me? Let me make something clear first. It will definitely not be anything like a date or a rendezvous. Please don't get the wrong idea. I have no such intention, I swear to God. She didn't have to hit me over the head with it like that. I'd really like you to accompany me to a certain place. Could you pick me up in the morning? Sure, I'll do that. Please, don't forget. In spite of being surprised by the strength of her tone of voice, I was very happy with her offer. My concern over Nishizono-san led me to the head of the classroom earlier than usual. After a short while in the almost empty classroom, Nishizono-san, who still looked a little bit pale, came in. Morning. Good morning. She returned my greeting in a very weak voice. Still feeling ill? No, I'm not. Please don't worry. Alright, a male classmate who had just entered passed me by. Morning, Naoi. Yeah, morning. And he walked straight to his desk without even looking at Nishizono-san, who was standing right beside my desk, as if she weren't actually there. I doubted that he had ignored her deliberately, because his behavior looked entirely natural. What's the matter? Nothing. Never mind. I'm looking forward to going out with you tomorrow. She nodded lightly. Yo, Ricky, you got up early this morning? Yeah, sort of. Nishizono, you okay now? Yes. Awesome. Good for you. You really shouldn't grow more muscle on your bones. He laughed, looking at Nishizono-san's face in his usual relaxed manner. Masato? What's wrong with you? You sound gross. Did I say something odd? No, you just made my day. You're being weird today, Ricky. Inohara-san is weird all the time. He seemed to take a critical hit. Ah ha ha. Then he burst into laughter. Ah ha 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 ha. Noi-san, let's go. Where to? Did you forget about it already? It's about the Tanka contest. Today's the deadline. That's right. Completely forgot about it due to her absence yesterday. But we haven't made any, have we? Do you remember the conversation we had at the riverside? Which conversation exactly? We had talked about many different things, so I wasn't sure what exactly she was referring to. About the Hyakunin issue containing a number of love-related poems. Yeah, I remember it. Sutokuin, for example, wrote one relating his feelings to the river current. Even if different people saw the same thing, to some it might be just a river, while to others it may remind them of their separation from their loved ones. The way we define the world varies depending on one's feelings, memories, and experiences. Yeah, I think so too. Even the same person can see the same thing differently, depending on the time and circumstances. When I am happy, I can easily laugh out loud at Masato's absurd jokes. On the other hand, when I am depressed, I do not always even want to hear his voice. Definitely. And that's why the world I see differs from the one you do. That's a given. Did she see through my feelings and was trying to deny them? Sorry, I digress. I did not mean to say that. Well, you know, what I'm trying to say is... She seemed somewhat confused herself. Thing is, you were right next to me at the time. I dare say that the world I was seeing back then was different from usual. I found meaning in something that I usually don't. Hence, this poem is our collaborative work. I still did not see your point. She turned away before I could decipher what she had meant. Anyway, let's go and turn it in. Kyosuke was waiting for us outside of the room where the works were to be handed in. Hey, you guys finished? Apparently. I cast a glance at Nishizono-san. I still don't know any details either. What's the situation, Nishizono? I have it right here. She was holding an envelope in her hand. What's it like? Let me check it out. I politely refuse. The more I step back and think about it, the more embarrassed I become. To think that this will be seen by other people. Well, naturally. I guess we should leave. Come on, you didn't get this far to do that. Sure, you two did a great job. Us too? Right, you too. That's what we went out of our way to leave you guys alone 2 days back. Well, that's not that important. Nishizono, I won't tell you to be more confident, but I'd say you may regret it if you quit here. Kyosuke-san, do you somehow know what this is? No, I have no idea. True, you couldn't possibly have. You felt something from what I said? It means that in your heart you already know you would regret it. Kyosuke-san. Give me a second, guys. Okay, what's going on here? I have no idea. Ask her. Nishizono-san? Now then, let's go and hand it in. I'm supposed to hand this over to the people inside the room, aren't I? Saying so, she hurried into the room. The results will be announced next Wednesday. I'm gonna have to check out your work, Nishizono-san. I'm embarrassed that you expected so much of me. I don't think it's something so worth looking forward to. I do. I'm very interested in it. I just can't wait. Noe-san, please check the results of the contest for me. In the course of the conversation, we had reached the front of the girls' dorm. Noe-san, I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, I'm picking you up tomorrow morning. I headed to the dorm as I promised. She was already there. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, yeah, morning. You look out of it. What happened? Sorry, never mind. It was too embarrassing to tell her that I had been captivated by the sight of her in casual clothes. I just noticed that. You're not wearing your uniform today. Because it's a holiday. She answered as if questioning what I had made such a pointless statement for. That explained why she had gone to the trouble of changing her clothes when I had visited her the other day. It had been a school day. How very dutiful. Alright, let's go. You came here this early in the morning for me. So why don't we have tea or something for starters? Is that alright? Sure, hope my messy room will not offend you. Although I was slightly hesitant going into the girls' dorm and even to a girl's room itself, I did not want to decline her kind offer. She led me to her room. It's so clean. I had already gathered how modest she was before how she described her room as messy beforehand, and Indeed, there were piles of books around the door, which made quite a sight. However, each pile was organized compactly and cleanly. In fact, I had been expecting this much because I knew she was an extensive reader. Overall, her room looked simple and tidy. Our room couldn't hold a candle to it. Despite the fact that she and I were both Homo sapiens, there seemed to be a vast gulf between us. You can spare the flattery. I mean it. No, no. Yes, yes, yes. No, 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 no. Yeah. Took a seat after the comical dialogue. I'll go and make tea. She stood up. Hold on a second. I motioned her back and opened the door. Bump. The door hit someone in the hallway as it swung outward. Oh no, who did I hit? Ouch! What looked like a small animal was hunched over, holding its head with its hands. Coot, what are you doing? Well, I remembered I had something to tell Nishizono-san. I didn't want to disturb you too. You were welcome to come in. What held you? Oh! She let out a sigh and glanced at Nishizono-san. There's this proverb. Whoever tries to thwart someone else's love should die by being hit by a horse. I don't want Hosu Izo Dedo yet. It's the third wheel, we'll retreat. Laughing happily, she walked away. As usual, she used an indecipherably English expression. Boy, they are making a big deal out of this. The peace was finally restored. Oh. Then, once again, I'm going to make tea. Nobody's out there anymore, right? She was about to leave the room, but turned around. Naoe-san, please don't look inside the closet. I won't. Make certain you don't. She insisted and left the dorm. I spent a little while checking out the books and the shelves. I spotted several books which she had lent me before. This one looks interesting. Maybe I'll ask her for it later. Nishizono-san was not back yet, and even though quite a while had passed, the strange situation of being in the girls' dorm in the very room of a girl might be enough to make even a usually timid person throw caution to the wind. Telling me not to look just made me want to look at all the more just to see, like in the story of the Grateful Crane. Elderly man, a crane, transformed into a young woman. Ah. Closest had swinging doors. While a boy doesn't usually have much clothes in his closet, a girl seems to have considerably more in hers. Yeah, considerably. Her closet looked ready to burst at any moment. The doors were bulging dangerously, as though they might fling open at any moment. If I had listened hard, I could probably have heard the strain of the contents pressing on the doors from the inside. I knew I'd better not touch it, but curiosity killed the cat. I cautiously approached the closet. Instinct warned me that any stimuli would not be good. My right hand touched the closed handle, even though the touch was really light, only a brush. Creak! I heard a heavy rumbling, and the books started flooding out of the closet one after another. Ouch! 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 I'm not kidding. I got a pointed lesson, in fact, that hard covers were actually hard. Stuffed books, thick books, thicker than books, all the kind of books have assailed me. So I was about to faint. Noi-san! Extended a helping hand to me, and she pulled me out with all her might. Thanks. The books covered the entire room from wall to wall. Apparently, the ones on the shelves were only a tiny part of her entire collection. I cleaned out the room as much as I could before you came. If cleaning is the proper term to use for jamming stuff into a closet, she had probably kept those closely packed books in a corner of the room before my visit. She looked kinda cute in her dejection. Let me help you. I offered a hand to Nishizono-san, who had begun picking up the books. You don't have to, but it'll be tough work. The more people, the faster. No, I'm doing this alone. Can you please wait in the hall? As a girl, there must have been stuff she did not want me to see. To begin with, I was entirely responsible for this accident because I had ignored her explicit warning. You can ask me for help any time, okay? I told her so. I took a look at her yet again before I left the room. She was giving her full attention to thin books and signaling them out from among the rest. Thank you for waiting. She let me in again before long. There were books piled high in the corner. They consisted of hardcovers and paperbacks. How did you fit so many books into the closet? It felt physically impossible. Maybe her closet was connected to an alternate dimension or something. Everything is impossible until you try. Oh, I see. Those are the words of Uesugi Yozan. Who is that? By the way, the correct way to write it in English is impossible, not impossible. Yeah. I can't really tell the difference when you say it. I felt like she had just severely avoided explaining the mystery space in her closet. Almost forgot. Can you lend me this one later? I drew a book out of the shelf. That was the one which had interested me before the flood of books. Later? She sounded hesitant. You haven't finished it yet. If so, I can wait. No. Alright, I'll lend it to you right now. Can't you do that after we go out? What if we both forget about it after that? She thrust the book to my hands. That's right. Please take this one too. She handed me the book which she had been reading under the Zelkova tree before. But I think this book is myself. Nishizono-san was trying to give me that book which was so crucially important to her. I'd like you to keep it. She insisted firmly as I hesitated to take it. Please start reading from the very first page. Come to think of it, I had not read this book seriously before. I had just skimmed over some pages of it when I had found it in the classroom. Nevertheless, I had learned back then how much she treasures it. Okay then, I'll take it as well. I put both books into the bag I had with me. Good thing I only had my wallet in it, as the books took up most of the space inside. Thank you. Her eyes, which seemed to be imploring me for support, had the same color on them as to when she had asked me to help her find her lost book in the classroom before. Nishizono-san, is there something bothering you? Maybe I can help you. I recalled how our class had behaved recently. Those who weren't very close to her appeared to be showing, if possible, even less interest in her than ever. Of course, even I didn't know every one of my classmates well. I hadn't even talked to a number of them for several days. Hence, there shouldn't be any difference between me and her. But I felt there was something more. They had acted as if she did not exist. They didn't seem to be ignoring her. A more specific adjective in my limited vocabulary to describe how they treated her would be as inorganic. I had felt it despite not being the subject to it myself. Naturally, she must have felt it much more acutely. No, I'm fine. She gave me a smile. You're going to be devoting the whole day to me today. Okay. I'm kind of worried where you are going to take me, though. How rude. Alright, we should be off now, Noe-san. Yeah. I gulped down my tea, which had already turned tepid before we left the room. The bitter aftertaste of the green tea lingered in my mouth. It dyed my mouth green. Noe-san, Noe-san. Once we got outside, she looked so happy, as though the gloom she had showed earlier was all a lie. She led me down the street. Look at that huge stuffed animal. She was staring into the store's window. Let me see. I moved to her side. It was a new experience for me, seeing her smiling face so close to me. The stuffed animal she was watching was certainly rather large. Looked like a hamster, but had a rather wild look on its face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 zeros on the price tag. That's so pricey. Who in the world would buy it? Take a close look, for its first seemed to have lost most of its gloss from sitting there for a long time. No wonder, because it wasn't exactly cute. You happen to want that? No way, I do not. I don't have enough room for it. True. Books are my first priority, unfortunately. If they weren't, would she get it? We arrived at right in front of the biggest bookstore in town, and she headed for the entrance of the store, as if she had forgotten that I was with her. Hey, wait! She stopped in front of the automatic doors. What's up with you? I wasn't going to come by here, but your feet naturally took you here, huh? That's so like you, Nishizono-san. Let's go somewhere else. She tried to leave before the doors could open. How come? Might as well have a quick look inside since we're already here. Beyond the automatic doors was a wide open space. The store was quite crowded with people enjoying their holiday shopping. A number of books-filled shelves stood in neat rows, and latest titles could be found on the display rack located in the prime spot near the entrance. Following me, Nishizono-san came in. Ah! And immediately she tottered to a book she picked it up. It's already come out, and this is the new piece by that author. Oh, and this is the one I've been looking for. What is over here? Just like a bee fluttering around a flower field for nectar, her figure disappeared from my sight. I'm sorry. She came back to me a few minutes later. I found my mouth curving into a bitter smile. Even though you said you weren't going to come here. I'm very ashamed of myself. Aren't you buying any? She didn't have a book in her hands. No, I'm not today. Why not? If I stopped shopped here, you would have to help me carry the stuff. That's easy enough. It would be a lot of them. That much? Yes, that much. I should think I'd be alright even carrying something that was too heavy for the frail Nishizono-san. Looking at the books in the shelves, I realized even thin ones would make a thick stack when put together. There's one more place that I'd like to take you to. I'm really fine with not buying anything today. Then maybe next time. Only if I had the opportunity. No, I should make my own opportunity. A chance to go out with her. But since we came here, I'll buy something. Any recommendations? Felt like her eyes flashed. You can count on me. And yet again she vanished from sight. Like a fish swimming in a forest of colorful seaweed. Well, guys, with this big pile of books, even though she didn't appear all that strong, thank you for waiting. But yeah, thank you all for waiting. I'm going to call it here, because I got a graduation to get to. So thanks for watching, anyone still here. I'll see all of you tonight for some more Elliot game, and tomorrow for more of this game. Take care. Bye!